for all that.
I can't talk right now.
This isn't gonna do anything without power. This is on the same grid as the rest of the signal interceptor. This is on the same grid as the rest of the signal interceptor.
I'm too busy to speak right now.
We're close. All we need is enough power to fire up the signal interceptor.
I'm occupied at the moment. We'll speak later. Yeah? I'd just leave that if I were you. I'll send for you if I need it.
Better check all your connections and make sure all the components are wired together on a single grid.
on, just leave it.
We're close. All we need is enough power to fire up the signal interceptor.
Remarkable work, man. The signal interceptor appears to be complete. Are you ready to put it to the test?
Lab rat, standing by.
All of us are aware of the risks you're taking, and we salute you. That being said, this is the first time we've attempted to directly adapt Institute technology. When we throw that switch, we don't know exactly what's gonna happen. God willing, you'll end up inside the Institute, and the mission can continue.
Unless I end up inside solid rock.
Let's hope it doesn't come to that. Now, I want you to listen very carefully. Once you've entered the Institute, we expect to lose contact, so it's imperative you remember everything I'm about to tell you. About 10 years ago, the Brotherhood began recruiting civilian scientists from the Capital Wasteland to assist with various projects. During this process, we were able to obtain the services of Dr. Madison Lee, a noted mind in the field of nuclear engineering.
How did the Brotherhood meet Dr. Lee?
She was part of a civilian project in the Capital Wasteland that the Brotherhood appropriated. It wasn't difficult to convince her to stay. That said, Dr. Lee's contributions to our cause were instrumental in maintaining order in the Capital Wasteland. After some time, she developed differences with the Brotherhood and exiled herself to the Commonwealth. We're fairly certain that her intent was to make contact with the Institute.
She was a valuable resource. It was a mistake to let her leave.
Agreed. I wish our predecessors would have had your foresight. Your mission is simple. Once you're inside the Institute, we want you to track down Dr. Lee's whereabouts. If you find out that she's still alive, make contact with her and convince her to return to the Brotherhood of Steel. There's a special project we're working on, and it needs her attention.
What's this project that needs her attention?
Sorry, that information is classified. I'm sure you understand. Listen to me, Knight. I'm well aware that you're risking your life going into the Institute blind. Just keep your mind on the mission, and don't let anything they say sway you from your duty. Good luck.
Just when you thought you'd heard everything, folks. There are tales being told about a very strange-looking machine being built out there in the Commonwealth. Your friend Travis here has yet to learn what this thing is for, but I can tell you, imaginations are running wild. Wackiest version I've heard so far is that this thing is supposed to somehow contact the Institute. Now, I don't think I believe that, but if it's true, and whoever's building it can hear me, put down the wrench, friend. It'll only end badly. Anyone else out there knows what that thing does, you come see your old friend Travis Lonely Miles. I'll keep you up to date, as always. Here's a throwback to simpler times, when folks actually went looking for radioactive material. It's Elton Britton with Uranium Fever.
I've checked and rechecked everything.
I've got some things to do first.
Yeah.
Hey.
What do you want?
Hey.
You... Point, I shoot. Where do you want me? Well, let's see what you require.
Heads up.
Be glad to share the burden.
Hope you enjoyed that last number. Hey folks, time for some news. Though, actually, this time it's more addressing some rumors than anything else. I'm sure many of you have heard tales of the Railroad, a group working to free synths who are trying to escape the Institute. While it's impossible to say for sure, they may actually be out there. If so, makes sense that they're keeping a low profile. It's a dangerous idea and is met by some very mixed reactions around the Commonwealth. I guess if you are out there, good luck not getting caught. Ruminating on second chances, here are the ink spots with maybe.
Feels like you can take on the world in there, doesn't it?
I've checked and rechecked everything. I think the signal interceptor's ready to go. Are you?
Let's do this.
All right. Head up onto the platform and we'll see if I can find a signal to lock onto. Pull yourself together and get up onto that platform. Let's see. Relays dialed in. Beam emitters warmed up. Everything looks green. Let me start scanning for the signal. Cross your fingers. I'm inputting the code now. Wow, there's a heck of a lot of interference and ghosting. It's gonna take a minute or two to lock in. By the way, this little trip you're taking is a heck of an opportunity to find out as much as we can about the Institute and what they're up to. I put a clever little program on this holotape that'll scan their network and download anything it finds. If you place it in any terminal down there, it'll do the rest. Bring it back to me and I'll see if I can make sense of whatever it found. Well, well, looks like we have a winner. RF wave capture complete. Ramping the emitter. 60%, 80%. Emitter spiking but steady. All that's left is to throw the transmit switch. Transmitting in 3, 2, 1. Stay safe, soldier.
wondered if you might make it here. You're quite resourceful. I'm known as Father. The Institute is under my guidance. I know why you're here. I'd like to discuss things with you face to face. Please, step into the elevator. I can only imagine what you've heard, what you think of us. I'd like to show you that you may have the wrong impression. Welcome to the Institute. This is the reality of the Institute. This place, these people, the work we do. For over 100 years, we've dedicated ourselves to humanity's survival. Decades of research, countless experiments and trials, a shared vision of how science can help shape the future. It has never been easy. And our actions are often misinterpreted by those above ground. Someday, perhaps, we can show them what we've accomplished. But for now, we must remain underground. There's too much at stake here to risk it all. As you've seen, things above are unstable. I'd like to talk to you about what we can do for everyone. But that can wait. You are here for a specific, very personal reason. You are here for your son.
Sean?
Huh? Yes, I'm Sean.
Oh, goddamn them. So many years stolen.
Who are you?
Sean, it's me. I'm your dad.
Father, what's going on? What's happening?
Those bastards, they took you from me.
What's going on? Father? Father!
Shh, shh, it'll be okay, Sean. I'm here now.
I don't know you. Go away. Father! Father, help me! There's someone here, help me!
Sean, please, calm down. I'll get you out of there.
Father? Father, help me! He's trying to take me! Father? Father, help me!
Sean. S923, recall code Cirrus. Fascinating, but disappointing. The child's responses were not at all what I anticipated. He's a prototype, you understand. We're only just now beginning to explore the effects of extreme emotional stimuli. Please try and keep an open mind. I recognize that you are emotional, and that you're... Let's start anew. I am Father. Welcome to the Institute.
Give me Sean. The real Sean. Right now!
I know. I know. You've gone to such lengths to find him.
Just...
I promised answers. And answers you shall have. But I need you to realize that this situation is far more complicated than you could have imagined. You have traveled very far, and suffered a great deal to find your son. Well, your tenacity and dedication have been rewarded. It's good to finally meet you, after all this time. It's me. I am Sean. I am your son.
How is that even possible?
I know this is a lot to take in. In the vault, You had no concept of the passage of time. You were released from your pod and went searching for the sun you'd lost. But then you learned that your son was no longer an infant, but a 10-year-old boy. You believed that 10 years had passed. Is it really so hard to accept that it was not 10, but 60 years? That is the reality, and here I am. Raised by the Institute, and now its leader.
But why? Why take a child? Why take you?
Ah, now that's the question, isn't it? Why me? At that time, the year 2227, the Institute had made great strides in synth production. But it was never enough. Scientific curiosity and the goal of perfection drove them ever onward. What they wanted was the perfect machine. So they followed the best example thus far. The human being. Walking, talking, fully articulate, capable of anything.
I think I see where this is going.
Then perhaps you already understand why it was necessary for the Institute to acquire me. The Institute endeavored to create synthetic organics. The most logical starting point, of course, was human DNA. Plenty of that was available, of course, but it had all become corrupted. In this wasteland, radiation affected everyone. Even in their attempts to shield themselves from the world above, members of the Institute had been exposed. Another source was necessary. But then the Institute found me, after discovering records from Vault 111. An infant, frozen in time, protected from the radiation-induced mutations that had crept into every other human cell in the Commonwealth. I was exactly what they needed. And so it was my DNA that became the basis of the synthetic organics used to create every human-like synth you see today. I am their father. Through science, we are family. The synths, me, and you.
Sean. It's really you.
It really is. I know you must have questions. Please. Anything I can do to help you understand.
Your mother. She never got to see you grow up.
Yes. What happened to her was... I've gone over the records of the incident, of course. It seems her death was an unfortunate bit of collateral damage.
Collateral damage? Is that all she was to you?
I forget that it's been such a short time for you. I don't have any direct memories. And I've had my entire life to cope with the loss. Has it always been easy? Of course not. But I've done my best to move on and live my life. For many years, I never questioned who my parents were. I accepted my situation, and that was that. With old age comes regret. And asking what if more often. But what matters now is that you and I have a chance to begin again. What else can I say to ease your mind?
I think I've heard enough for now.
Very well. The Institute is on the verge of some... I've been a part of something, and now...
Yes, that's what I want.
I know. Forgive... There is much...
Uh-huh. I'm not here to take orders.
I'm afraid things here... While you may be my...
I can't afford to trust anyone.
I see. I am... disappointed. I had certainly hoped we could work together. But every man must make his own decisions. If you choose to leave, I cannot force you to stay. Understand, though, that I cannot allow you to remain within the Institute. You may have safe passage back to the relay, where you will be sent back to the surface. But from that point, you must be considered hostile. I am sorry. I must think first of the safety of the Institute. And in the cruel world that has developed, those who are not with us are against us. The elevator will return you to the relay.
Can't pick this.
Scanning unknown identity. Clearance confirmed. Operating at full capacity. Nothing to report, sir. Scanning. Subject identified.
Find the technical documents.
Lancer Captain Kells has informed me that the Institute...
The Institute is the enemy. I was simply doing my duty.
Your duty is to follow my orders to the letter, Knight. Your instructions were clear. You were to infiltrate the Institute, find Dr. Lee, and convince her to return to the Brotherhood. I'm extremely disappointed in you, Knight.
I stand by my actions, sir.
Do you? Well, if nothing else, you have the courage to stand your ground. That doesn't absolve you from your mistake. But let's just say you've earned back some of my respect. Fortunately, this incident doesn't change our current strategy. We have a contingency plan that's already being put into effect that should ensure completion of our special project. Now, I believe you still possess an important piece of data that Proctor Ingram is eagerly awaiting. I want you to bring it to her immediately. And Knight, don't disappoint me again. Dismissed.
Sure.
I heard that Elder Baxter got that scar on his face from going one-on-one with the
Here's your holotape, Proctor. Hope the data on that thing was worth it.
Thanks. You know, it's good to see you're still in one piece. I wasn't sure what the Interceptor would do to you.
I wasn't worried. After all, I built the device myself.
I have confidence in everything I built too. But that's because I'll only deal with technology that I understand. Speaking of technology I don't understand, I'll get this holotape to Proctor Quinlan. I'm dying to find out what's on it.
Hopefully, it'll reveal a weakness in their defenses.
That would be the best case scenario. Before we jump to conclusions, let's see what Quinlan's scribes can get off of it. I'm sure the Institute has all of their data heavily encrypted, so it's gonna take some time to crack. After that, in the meantime... So, I bet you're...
Sure. Whatever it is, I'm sure it'll help us crush the Institute.
It will. Come on. Unless you're blind as a bat, I'm sure you've noticed that we've been building a gantry on the tarmac. Maxon and Kells have been looking for something that'll tip the balance when we go toe-to-toe with the Institute. Now, the Prydwen might be a big beast, but she's not built for fighting. That's where our new project comes in. This storage bay for parts is what's left of Liberty Prime. The Brotherhood used it in the Capital Wasteland as a weapon against the Enclave. It's the most advanced robot the Brotherhood has ever had at its disposal. Fortunately, Liberty Prime was destroyed in the line of duty. I've spent the better part of the last few years piecing him back together. And if you think that was easy, try rebuilding a Protectron while you're blindfolded. In order to get Liberty Prime fully operational, we're going to need your help.
problem. I'm sure this only looks worse than it actually is.
I wish I had your confidence, because this is not going to be easy. Now, the good news is that we've got most of Prime's parts fully assembled. The bad news is that it's going to take more than a few rivets. And the first problem is his CPU. It's fragile.
That doesn't sound hard to fix.
Oh yeah, as much as what we need is a robotics expert. Her name's Professor Why don't you head over there and see if you can talk— Oh, and take this with you. Once she sees one of those Cerebro
Right.
In the meantime, I'll
If you have a moment, there's something I'd like to discuss with you.
Of course. What's on your mind?
Thank you. This isn't a formal meeting. I simply want to clear the air. I think we may have gotten off on the wrong foot when we first met, and I feel like I owe you an apology. Expecting you to embrace the standards of the Brotherhood without having a history with us was unfair. And given that you've adjusted so well to our beliefs, I don't think I needed to push so hard.
That's very kind. Thank you.
Well, you deserve it. When I was an initiate, my sponsor was Paladin Krieg, toughest squad leader I ever served with. He was a model soldier, embodying the values every trainee was striving to achieve. Fiercely loyal, secure in his beliefs, and brave to a fault. From the moment I was assigned to his squad, I was singled out. It felt like he was pushing me harder than the rest of the team. I fought by his side for years, and we had some seriously close calls. But he never explained to me why I was treated that way.
It sounds like he was...
If he was, after the news was like,
Sure.
It's taken. It's because I believe.
Uh-huh. I'm flattered that...
You've earned that. Well, I trust.
Heads up.
Awaiting your command. Yeah?
Prescriptions, Bill.
Yes?
High quality chems right here.
Shop in safety. No sense allowed at the surplus.
Don't walk outside the wall undefended. High quality protection for sale.
Did you ever find what Marty was looking for? That man didn't get out of bed for free.
Hey, Valentine.
So I have to imagine
Time to hit
it's a
the
pretty
road?
Nice haul.
Let's head out.
Well, all right.
I can't believe you're replacing me with this.
Believe it, bucko.
Nice hat. Look alive.
What's the plan?
Nick.
Hey, let me ask you something.
Okay, ask.
It's just, with everything that's happened with you, it's a whole hell of a lot to process. wanted to make sure you're holding up all right.
Doesn't really matter. I'm here now. I've just got to deal with that.
Good attitude to have. Not the way I felt. Took me a long damn time to get a feel for this place. Thank goodness I found Diamond City. It's got its flaws, sure, but it beats the hell out of anywhere else in the Commonwealth. Of course, when I took up there back when, people were just as scared of the Institute as they are now. Maybe more. The massacre of the CPG was still pretty fresh in people's minds at that point, and folks were still losing sleep over the broken mask. Plenty of people assumed I was just a saboteur, moving in to melt down the reactor or poison the drinking water. But at the time, they couldn't exactly turn me away.
Massacre of the CPG? What's that?
The Commonwealth Provisional... Every settlement with even a hint of clout sent representatives to try and hash out an agreement. Only the Institute sent a representative of their own. A synth. The man killed every rep at the talks. The Commonwealth Provisional Government was over before it even got off the ground. I took up in town not long after. I was damn lucky they didn't just tell me to scram right then and there.
Broken mask?
This was long before I'd moved to town, but apparently some gentleman type shows up in Diamond City, heads down to Power Noodles. Guess he didn't like the food because he pulled his pistol and opened fire on the folks enjoying theirs. When security finally put enough holes in him to drop him, they say he was full of servos and sprockets, just like yours truly. Seems he malfunctioned, went berserk. It was the first time people realized that synths had stopped looking like me and started looking like them. Considering what these folks went through, I felt real lucky they let me in the front gate at all.
Why would you want to live among bigots like that?
Nah, I couldn't really blame them, given the circumstances. But folks sure started turning the other cheek when I showed up with the mayor's daughter. Gal of about 15. Pride and joy of the mayor back then. Man by the name of Henry Roberts. The young Miss Roberts decided she'd run off with some caravan hand she'd, known for an evening. Turns out the guy was part of a gang of kidnappers. I didn't even know who I was rescuing, just stumbled on a crying girl and 4 toughs. I took her home and the mayor dubbed me a hero, offered me a place in town. Lots of folks protested, said I was a spy, but he wouldn't have it. Taking up in the city was tricky at first, but I never tried to hide what I was, and people seemed to warm to that.
You took down 4 guys by yourself?
I didn't have to. Back then, synths were even more of an unknown quantity than they are today. I told them I was rigged to explode and started going beep, beep, beep. Hardest part of that rescue was keeping from laughing as they climbed over each other to get away.
You're not a spy, right? Testing, hello, Institute, can you hear me?
Hell if I know. If I am, the Institute's plan to gather intel on all the runaways of the Commonwealth has been going off without a hitch.
Why would you want to stay in a place you clearly weren't wanted?
Well, there were times I seriously considered going. I started, but I guess folks never forgot I rescued the mayor's wife runs off, and I never stopped. It was about then. It took me a long time. That's a long story.
Guess it's good I never visited Doc Crocker to get that touch-up I did.
Even good people do crazy things when they're scared.
Yeah?
Diamond City's motto.
Hi.
Yes?
Well, hey there.
Look alive.
Been a long time. How you holding up?
Dad says no.
You keep that synth free. Arm's length. You understand? We sell everything.
are you?
Travis.
Things with Scarlet didn't really, work out. But that's fine. You think the radio sounds better these days? I'm not getting nearly as many complaints.
You building a collection or something?
I haven't forgotten what you've done for me.
Holy shit. Now that...
Sorry to let you down, but I'm afraid I'm not in the mood to teach biology lessons today.
If something's wrong, maybe I can help.
It's her normal field I'm...
Don't.
Oh, that would be wonderful. The last place Professor Skara said she was going is the General Atomics Galleria. I'll mark it on your mapping device. There. Look, if you find her, could you tell her to come home?
This area is under our protection.
a number for faster service, and someone will be with you shortly. Please wait your turn.
Any deviation from standard operating procedures must be authorized by the director. All employees, report suspicious behavior to the director immediately.
That's it.
Who's there? Are you a customer? Now you listen here. Every single item in this store is exactly where it belongs. Exactly. It's taken me years to get it all in order. You can look if you want. But don't touch anything! I'm watching very sporting. Bowling. Skeptic bowl, just $5,000 a game.
I can't afford that.
Sorry to hear that, sir. Do change your mind?
Yeah, sure. I'm just rolling in cash.
I'm sure you are, sir. Now, are you up for a game?
Do you take caps?
Bottle caps? Of course not. Legal tender only.
Do you mind if I just take a look around?
I'm sorry, only paying customers are allowed beyond the reception area.
$5,000? That's ridiculous.
Poverty is never something to feel ashamed of. Duke.
Excuse me, but this is a private research site. If you're here to study these robots, I'll have to insist you relocate to somewhere else.
Whose private research site?
Well, mine, of course. The General Atomics Galleria is a rare and unique... A single... I've already told you.
Actually, I was looking for you.
Oh, well, that puts an entirely different spin on everything, doesn't it? My name's Professor Skara. And in answer to what I expect to be your next question, Professor is my first name, not my title. The whole thing's rather complicated. Perhaps I'll explain it to you sometime.
Sounds like your parents had some pretty specific aspirations for you.
So, now that I've formally introduced myself, perhaps you'd care to tell me why you're here.
Pack your things. You're working for the Brotherhood of Steel now.
Am I? I don't seem to recall agreeing to anything of the sort. While I'm flattered that the Brotherhood of Steel would find me useful, I can't help but be wary of your methods and motivations. Perhaps if you were more specific, we could come to some kind of a mutual understanding.
We need your expertise to get Liberty Prime back online.
Liberty Prime? Where have I heard that before? Oh, yes. I believe it's some kind of an enormous robot. Intriguing as it sounds, I'm afraid my work at General Atomics isn't complete. Perhaps you could come back another time.
Could I stay here and help you, so your work goes faster?
Are you kidding me? The last thing I need is someone else interfering with my work. On the other hand, it's becoming obvious that you won't leave me in peace until I agree to assist the Brotherhood. All right, you've got a deal. I'll wrap up my collecting trip and meet you at your headquarters. Now, if you'll excuse me, I still have a few loose ends to tie up before I leave.
Sanction the use of lethal force against looters. Remember, you are the pride of General Atomics.
The airport, huh? You sure you want to waltz through Brotherhood HQ with a synth at your side? Go ahead. Take a look.
Hey.
Do something? Go ahead.
It's about time for you to...
Sure. Suppose I'll head on home then.
Heard you gave those beauties that Force Strong something.
Proctor Ingram.
Well, things are off to a good start. Isn't that right, Professor?
You call this a good start? This poor thing's memory flow is completely corrupted. Haven't you people ever heard of inertial dampeners? Titanium shock casing? It won't be easy, but I should be able to make a few modifications and get his basic functions online. If you can keep your inept scribes from slowing me down.
Charming, isn't she?
Sorry about that, Ingram.
Don't worry about it. We might be butting heads on a few issues, but I've dealt with worse. Besides, Skara's worth all the aggravation. I've never seen someone so proficient with Prime's power systems. She's already saved us weeks, maybe months of work. In fact, we're ready for you to start building his electromagnetic actuators.
Never heard of those.
I'd be surprised if you had. The actuators are what allows Liberty Prime's arms and legs to move. Prime's new limbs are way too heavy for the simple hydraulic pistons he had in the past. We're gonna have to rip those out, construct a brand new system using electromagnets, and install them in his limbs. What we need you to do is build the actuators for us.
All right, Ingram. Enough with the school lessons. Here's a list of materials you'll need. and the plans to make the actuators.
Now, before you get that look on your face, you'll be happy to know that we have plenty of the raw materials on that list right here at the airport. The only thing we need you to head out and find is a high-powered magnet. According to Proctor Quinlan, the best place to find one is in any of the ruined hospitals around the Commonwealth. We've already sent out a few teams to find the rest of the high-powered magnets you'll need. They should be back by the time you return.
Once you start building the actuators, we need one for each limb, so you'll need to make a total of 4. Good luck.